and welcome to episode 4 of the carp hunt. Today I'm back down on my club water for this session where I filmed the last one. I've got 24 hours ahead of me, roughly there or thereabouts. Got 2 of the rods out already. Just doing the third, and yeah, it's just absolutely started hammering it down, so I thought take some cover back in the bivvy a minute, get dried. You see I'm soaking wet. Yeah, so we'll get that third rod out as soon as I get a little bit of a break in the rain, and I'll give you a look at the swim and things like that. But yeah, hopefully we can have a fish or so on the bank this session. We've got some real good low pressure moving in this weekend. They're big southwesterly, we're going to have big winds. The swim I've chose this session as well today is it's called the narrow swim. Well, it's just a name that a lot of people have given it. It's the narrow swim. There's a lot of trees and everything around this swim over here, so you get a bit of cover out of the rain and a bit of cover from the wind. So where I was talking about watercraft in the last one, where it was like, don't just settle where you're comfortable, have a move around, find the fish. I've done the complete opposite to that this session. I've just settled for this swim. Hopefully we'll get out of that wind and rain a bit. But this can be quite a productive swim. I haven't fished it too many times myself in the past, but there does normally get a good few fish. You can, like, every swim around the lake, you know, you can catch fish from, just as long as you're on the fish, which fingers crossed hopefully I will be. As I say, I'll give once the rain's dried off and I can get the camera outside, I will give you a better look at the swim and some of the little features in it and that as well that we've got to go at. But yeah, I'm already lining up my excuses as well for a blank. As you can see, the old big carpy beard's gone. The missus didn't like it anymore, so yeah, sadly that's gone. Lost like 4 or 5 inches of beard, so I think that's going to be the excuse for a blank. The carpy powers have now disappeared, so yeah, so I've already got that lined up for an excuse, so that's good. Yeah, tactics this session is just the same sort of thing. I'm using the same bait. If you didn't watch episode 3, go back and have a look. I had a good chat in there a bit about the bait, and I'm using the exact same bait this session as well, on the same kind of rigs as well. I'm just using German rigs. They work really well here, so there's no reason for me to be changing that up. But yeah, like I say guys, once this rain drops off, I'll give you a little look at the swim and a little talk about the lake itself as well, and a bit of the stock in here, and there's some cracking fish in here as well, but I'll touch on all that in a little bit. So yeah, hopefully with this weather that we've got, we might be able to put a couple of fish on the bank this session. So yeah, until something carpy happens guys, tight lines. Right guys, so yeah, we've got all 3 rods out now. Fingers crossed won't be long until we get one on the bank. Like I say, this weather is looking bob on for it this weekend. Some nice low pressure, big southwesterly, overcast, rain. Everything's in our favour really, so just got to hope the fish are playing ball this weekend. Like I said earlier, I've got my excuse already made though, the old carpy beard. So yeah, but yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick talk about the stock in here. So I think there's upwards of about 140 fish in here. Every year they try and give us some new fish in here. They'll put a few scaly ones, scaly mirrors, and some nice commons in here. But the main head of it is commons really. I've had loads of commons out of here this year, and only a handful of mirrors really. And there's some cracking mirrors to go at. Some really nice scale pattern mirrors in here. I've just been unlucky that, well, I say unlucky, I'm still catching fish, you know, but I haven't managed to get amongst too many of the mirrors. So hopefully we might have one of them this session. That'll be real nice to show you and get up for the camera. I think there's been 2 commons so far this year over the last 3 months. They've come out at around the £29 mark, just over £29. I think the biggest one was 29.6. So with them feeding up now this time of year, well, they're just probably coming up to the end of where they want to be really feeding up for the winter. But now they're going to be coming out at their biggest weight, so I'm really hoping that one of these commons could go £30 this year. And the effort that I've put into this lake this year, I'm hoping it's me that catches it, you know. That would be nice to go down in the record books on here to have a nice £30 pounder. So that's sort of has been sort of my target really for this year. If well, you know, the fish has got to get to that weight to be able to catch one. But the way that I've put on a bit of weight this year, and like I say as well, there's been a lot of like all the furlough schemes with the COVID and stuff like that. The waters have seen a hell of a lot more anglers, so the fish are seeing a hell of a lot more bait going in as well. There's just boilie after boilie after boilie. So I think that's helped them putting on a bit of weight this year. To climb up there, so yeah, fingers crossed. You know, one or two of them are swimming around in here at £30 now, and yeah, they like what I'm putting out there for them, and we can look into one of them because that'll be awesome. I've on one of the other waters that the club own. Something going on with the rods then. Yeah, on one of the other waters that the club owns, the biggest fish in there, she's called Big Lynn. And I actually had her this year. It was my first time fishing the lake this year. It was only probably the it's third time I've ever fished the lake since I've been a member of the club. But I hadn't really put in any time or anything down there, but it was the first time I fished there this year. And I did a 72 hour on there. And oh, it was a struggle of a session, to say the least. I got breamed out. There's a lot of bream in there, and I went in with particle. I wanted to give it a go, but you know, with using particle, you are going to draw in smaller fish, and that's what happened. I got plagued by bream. I had the odd couple of tensions, but then on the last morning, right, it was early hours of the morning, it's like 1:30 in the morning. One of the rods was like just pulled up a little bit, had a little run, and then wasn't much else. So I've hit into it, fish on, and I'm half asleep. I'm reeling this fish in. And then it's just come wallow. It's on the surface, like coming in. I'm like trying to focus on it, and I'm looking. I was like, oh, it's a slab of a bream. I was like, no, I'm just nice. And this fish weren't doing nothing until it got under the tip, and I've noticed, and I was like, bloody hell, it's a mirror. And then suddenly she kicked into life a little bit. Went to have a go, but bosh, got the net under her. She's in. And then I've had a look, and she's half of the tail's missing on her. It's growing back a little bit now, but yeah, as soon as I seen this tail, I'm like. It's Big Lynn, I've only gone and got her, and literally had a little party right there myself on the bank 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, I've just had the biggest fish on, and that was my first ever carp out of that lake as well. She's a bit of a boilie pig, you know. A lot of the members do catch her, and she does see the bank a lot, but I don't care. To have her on my first session this year, my first ever carp out of that lake, yeah, that was that gave me delight at the end of that session. Let's just put it that way. But, yeah, hopefully we can repeat sort of that kind of thing on this lake as well. Now I can now myself the biggest one in here as well. That'll be good. But yeah, so that's sort of that for now, guys. Hopefully something carpy will happen soon. We're going to try and film as much as we can this session. It's going to be hard, obviously, with the rain and the wind. Obviously, it's going to be picked up on here. I do have the noise reduction thing on here for it, but it still picks it up. So luckily enough, at the minute, the wind's it's not really affecting us. It's sort of blowing down the other side of the lake on the backs of the other side, well, the other side of the islands. We're not really getting affected by it too much here, which is why I sort of wanted to fish this end, so you know, just to make it a bit more easier for the filming. And like I say, it can be a productive swim, you know. If the fish are here, they're here. We're going to catch a few. If they're not, we're going to blank. But yeah, so we'll see what we can do this session anyway, guys, filming wise and stuff like that. Hopefully we can get a bit of action, like with me on the rod and stuff like that. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But like I say, we'll play it by ear. But yeah, until something carpy happens, guys, speak to you soon. Alright, guys, so yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick look at this swim. So you can kind of see now why they call this one the narrow swim. You have like a bit of a narrow channel coming up through here up to the top end of the lake up there. So all this is just the back of the side of an island, come all the way around here and then shoots off around there. And yeah, from this point here it widens out a bit then, stretching out to the, you got the second island, there's a little channel there, and you got the second island heading all the way down to the bottom end of the lake there. But yeah, so you can sort of see why they call it the narrow. Nice little narrow channel running up through here. Nice little feature in here as well is the this little aerator down here. Powerful bloody thing that is. I'll show you when it comes on a bit later. I'll try and get a bit of footage. You'll see the way it shoots out of there. But yeah, it's a nice little spot. I've had a couple of fish off there. And then I've got one just on the corner of the island. Hopefully it's a nice little bit of an interception point. And then yeah, there's one just down in just off of this overhanging tree down here. They tend to move up around these margins quite a lot as well, so yeah, I thought I'd give one a go down there and see what happens. Yeah, and then up here, well, just as we that sort of like obviously cordons off this swim. There's a line going across there to the aerator, obviously power. And then it opens back up and out again then for the top end of the lake up here. I'll just show you this sort of angle of it here. Get a good shot. There we go. See, there's a nice little cove in here. And then it comes back out obviously to make that the narrow swim. But yeah, so that's the swim, guys. It's going to get a bit boggy I think tonight. Hopefully I don't end up on my arse. No more luck I will. Morning guys, it's been a long tough old night once again. That's all we seem to be getting lately is these bloody horrific weather nightmares. Yeah, it's just the wind, the rain, everything was just battering the bivvy last night. It's a good job I picked the more sheltered swim, because if I would have gone where I actually wanted to in the first place I would have had it all on the front of the bivvy, and yeah, that would have been horrific. But yeah, I've had no fish to report as of yet. I haven't even seen any signs of fish up this end of the lake. There's been none boshing. We've had, with this low pressure we've had, well, we've got today now, I think it's dropping down to its lowest today of around 997. So I would have thought I'd have seen some activity this morning. They get around the whole lot of this lake, they don't really hold up, so I'd have thought I'd seen something. I've been up, well before first light. I've hardly had any sleep, probably about an hour, 2 hours throughout the night. What didn't help that though either was that aerator, or it's a turbojet of a thing. I did manage to get some footage, so I'll clip in a bit of that and show you guys. But yeah, it's a noisy thing it is, and it's right next to the bivvy pretty much. So that was going on for about 4 or 5 hours throughout the early hours as well. So with the wind, the rain, and the aerator, I had no chance last night. Everything was against me. So yeah, I would contemplate a move this morning now as well and go and jump into a different swim, but with this weather we've got, and obviously I'm absolutely knackered as well. It's lazy angling at its best. I just can't be bothered. I've just had a coffee. Thought I'll have a coffee first and see how I feel, but nah, I can't be bothered for it. Hopefully a few fish will mooch around these islands today. They'll turn up round on me, and yeah, really I should be going to look for them this morning and find them and have a move to them, but I just can't be bothered. I am making a change today. What I'm doing is basically it's just the rig that's over by the island. I'm fishing a German rig, but the trees are nearly stripped bare now of leaves, so there's going to be a lot of leaf debris down on the bottom. So what I'm changing today is, I'll just give you a quick look now. 1 second. I'll just get the rig itself out. Right, so all I'm going to be changing on that rig today, well, I'm just changing that rig over, shall I say, and this is just to help aid in the presentation over them leaves. If I just get this up, so basically it's a hinge stiff rig. So the top end of it is pretty much German still. It's tied up, so you've got just the, let me get it like, there you go. Size 6 curve shank, just with a baiting needle. It's just tied on knotless knot style as well. And then all I'm tying this with, because I'm a bit fingers and thumbs when it comes to tying things like childies and hinge stiff rigs, I'm all fingers and thumbs with it. I find it quite, not so much difficult, it's just these fat fingers. They struggle to, like, because where I want to get the hinge stiff section of it quite low still, I always end up with them being way too long, and it's something I need to sort of try and tweak in my own fishing. But I did see, I think it's Jay Carter, I think his name is from Ridge Monkey. I've seen this little nifty bit that he does to tie a hinge stiff rig. So basically all he does is get stiff braided hook link, tie it on knotless knot style, as I say, as you normally would. But then, so where you sort of want that hinge stiff rig to be, you're just pulling back a bit of the coating there. That's all you're going to do, is pull back a little bit of that coating. Leave it there though, don't strip that bit off, because it gives your putty something to bind to then. So then all you've got then is a nice supple hinge there, and obviously the actual hinge, the section itself is still stiff coated. So it's still going to sit nice and stiff out there and sit above any leaf debris. And I've got that sitting quite close as well. The actual section of it itself is only about, it's probably about the same sort of size as a Ronnie, but I don't know, it's just something about this rig. I just like it. So yeah, I think I'm going to give that a try today, guys. Like I say, out on the island spot. I'm not fishing tight to them because I don't think they're moving that tight round to them now this time of year. I think they are moving off the islands a little bit, especially during the dark hours, which I should have really made that change last night, but yeah, with the weather, just made doing anything I wanted to do pretty much impossible. I didn't bring no waterproofs with me or anything, so I've already gone through one set of clothes as well, so I couldn't risk the second set getting absolutely soaked unless it was for a fish. But yeah, so I'm just gonna drop it off the island, just down the bottom of the shelf today. And like I say, there's gonna be a lot of leaf debris down there. So yeah, where the German rig, even though it's fishing a little waft out, it's gonna sit on top of the leaves. Any bit of feeding, little fish coming in having a little feed, could easily cover that hook point, could easily mask anything up down there. So yeah, I think today I'm gonna reel that one in a minute and get it put out there on a hinge stiff rig, nice little pop up. And yeah, see what happens with that, and hopefully that little tweak might put a fish on the bank. But yeah, fingers crossed they might come on the feed a little bit today now, because like I say, the pressure's dropped right down today. That wind's died down a bit now. It's all looking a nice bit calmer. It's still overcast and we're still going to get quite a bit of rain today, so again the conditions are all in our favour. I really thought I would have had a bite off it last night. The only thing I did have last night was a bloody bream as well. I think that was about 3:30 this morning. So yeah, that wasn't a welcome sight after the night I had, and then pulling into a bream. But yeah, hopefully the carp turn up on me today, and hopefully we can winkle out one or two. Be good for the camera as well for you guys, but also it'd be good for my own morale, because I'm a bit beat today after the night I've had. So yeah, fingers crossed, guys. Hopefully next time you see me, I'll be with a nice big carp in my hands. Speak to you soon, guys. Right guys, so we've come to the end of this session now. Sadly no fish on the bank. I've been leaving a bit earlier than was planned. We had a quick break in the weather The sun came out a little bit, dried off the bivvy a bit, so I thought, right, I know there's some more rain due, let's get everything packed down quick time. That didn't work out to my favour. I got everything out of the bivvy, got it all loaded on the barrow, putting the bivvy down. The heavens opened up again, it's drowned everything. Everything's wet through, so it's going to be a challenge now drying everything out this week, ready for our next session. Yeah, it's been a bit of a difficult one. I made it difficult for myself really by choosing the swim I did. I always know that the fish follow the southwesterly in here, and it pushes down towards that end. Where I was saying that I normally like to fish, where I've campaigned a couple of spots, that's where they sort of push down to with the southwesterly. And there was 2 lads that fished it last night that I know. They messaged me this morning saying how I was getting on, and they had 5 fish between them, them 2 did. So yeah, even though they had to put up with the rain and the wind and everything, absolutely smashing them last night. He was saying he was holding on to his bivvy for dear life. But they got rewarded for it. They ended up with a few fish on the bank. I did the opposite, landed somewhere comfortable for myself. Sadly no fish on the bank, but hey, you know, my own fault. Should have really had a move or something, should have done something really, but you know, that's a little tip there as well, guys. Just don't always just go for comfort, unless you're happy with the blank, that is. If you don't mind having the blank and just being out on the bank, then yeah, by all means. But yeah, I reckon I probably could have put a fish or 2 on the bank if I would have gone where I would have liked to have been. Anyway guys, I'm going to sign off now. The rain's starting to come back down again, but yeah, cheers for everyone that's been watching. Again, you like what you're seeing, subscribe to the channel. I'll be out midweek, should be, for the next episode. So yeah, until then guys, tight lines.